Life has a quiet way of slowly wearing us down. The more we try to control results, timing, people, and outcomes, the heavier life starts to feel. We push harder, plan more, and think non-stop, yet peace seems to drift even farther away. Here is the paradox. What if the effort you believe will fix everything is actually what's blocking it? Close your eyes for a moment and imagine softening your grip, taking a deep breath, and feeling relief even before results appear. What you cling to begins to control you. This is a deeper truth found in Buddhist teachings. In Buddhism, true manifestation begins when you master your emotions, not your circumstances. You don't force outcomes, you align with them. When you relax, things begin to flow toward you. From this state, even what feels like instant manifestation becomes possible. Before we continue, subscribe to Buddhism Insight, where each video opens a door to calm, clarity, and timeless Buddhist wisdom you won't find elsewhere. Stay with us until the end. There is one powerful bonus lesson that changes everything. 1. Stillness is the fastest movement. You are rushing, yet nothing is arriving. You are planning, chasing, adjusting, and improving, yet peace keeps getting delayed. This is the quiet struggle of the modern mind, the belief that life will finally begin after the next success. But what if manifestation doesn't move forward at all? What if it moves inward to the only place where anything truly happens, now? Stillness is not waiting. Stillness is the fastest movement there is. When the mind stops spreading itself into tomorrow, something gentle begins to form, a calm strength and steady clarity. Buddhism teaches that nothing truly arrives in the future. It is created in the present. The future is only a thought, but the present is alive, and what is alive has the power to change. Think of a seed. It doesn't grow by pulling at the soil or forcing the sun to rise sooner. It stays still, it remains where it is, and because it doesn't resist its place, everything it needs comes naturally. In the same way, when you stop pulling life toward you, life starts to respond, not through force, but through alignment. Much of our suffering comes from not being mentally present. Your body may be here, but your mind is replaying regrets or worrying about fears. Gently ask yourself, where am I not fully here? In conversations, at work, or during rest. Each time you leave the present moment, you step away from your own power, and then you wonder why nothing flows. Pause for a moment, feel your breath. Not to control it, just to notice it. Let it anchor you. Imagine roots sinking softly into the earth beneath you. With every breath you arrive more fully. This is not meditation as escape. This is presence as participation. Reality begins listening when wanting stops shouting. Here is the quiet strategy. When desire arises, do not chase it. Sit with it. When fear appears, do not outrun it. Stay. When impatience knocks, do not obey it. Breathe. Stillness trains the mind to stop leaking energy into imaginary futures. And when the mind becomes whole, outcomes reorganize themselves around you. This is the paradox most people miss. The calm mind attracts more than desperate effort ever will. Opportunities sense stability. People trust groundedness. Life moves toward those who are no longer grabbing at it. Ask yourself, what am I postponing that only the present can deliver? Peace, discipline, courage. Do not wait to become still after everything is fixed. Be still now, and watch how things begin to fix themselves. You do not manifest by chasing life. Life comes to you when your grasping finally ends. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type. Manifest starts now. 2. Want less, receive more. You are wanting yet feeling hollow. You are reaching yet tightening inside. Craving feels like action, but it quietly creates distance. The mind believes that desire is movement, but Buddhism points to a deeper truth. Desire pulls from absence, not fullness, and what is pulled from lack never satisfies. Look closely at the moments you want most. There is tension in the chest, a subtle fear beneath the hope. Wanting whispers, "I am incomplete without this." And the moment the mind believes that story, suffering begins. Not because wanting is wrong, but because gripping life teaches life to resist you. An open hand can receive what a clenched fist cannot. This is not poetry, it is mechanics of the mind. When you demand outcomes, you shrink awareness. When you release outcomes, awareness expands. And expanded awareness attracts clarity, opportunity, and ease. Desire is like salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. One achievement demands another. One possession asks for protection. One approval invites anxiety. Soon, life becomes a that never ends. Ask yourself honestly, what am I trying to force right now? And what has forcing ever truly given me? Detachment does not mean giving up. It means letting go of the illusion that happiness is somewhere else. Sit quietly for a moment. Imagine every want you are carrying. Success, validation, control placed gently on a leaf. Watch the stream take them away. Feel the relief in your chest as the mind stops arguing with reality. That relief is not loss, it is freedom. Here is the strategy. Few practice. Do your work fully, then release the outcome completely. Act without begging the future to cooperate. Speak without needing approval to echo back. Show up without asking life to guarantee safety. When action is clean of craving, it becomes powerful. Who would you be without this craving? Not empty, lighter, not passive, clear. Without desire shouting, intuition begins to speak. You start noticing doors you were too tense to see. People respond differently. Situations soften. Life does not feel pushed. It feels invited. Trust is the turning point. Demand says, "Give me what I want." Trust says, "I will do my part and allow life to meet me." And life always meets trust with movement. Want less. Not because you are unworthy of more, but because peace arrives when you stop squeezing the moment. When the mind releases, life responds. And what comes to you then is not forced. It fits. 3. Authority begins inside. You keep looking outward for permission to speak, to choose, to become. And every time you do, your power quietly leaks away. Authority does not arrive through approval. It begins the moment you stop asking who you are allowed to be. Buddhism reminds us that alignment without apology is strength, not arrogance. Notice how uncertainty grows when you wait for validation. The mind splits in two. One part knows the truth, the other waits to be told it is safe. That delay is suffering because the calm mind needs no approval. 4. It moves from clarity, not consensus. Think of a mountain. It does not announce its height. It does not compare itself to the hills nearby. It stands, rooted, unmoving. And because it stands, everything else adjusts around it. Inner authority works the same way. When you stop negotiating with doubt, outcomes begin to bend. Ask yourself honestly, where do I give my power away? In conversations where you shrink your truth, in decisions postponed because you fear disappointment. Each time you silence what feels true, the mind weakens its own signal, and life responds to weak signals with confusion. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine standing upright, spine relaxed, breath steady. There is no tension in proving anything. Feel a quiet confidence radiating outward, not loud, not defensive. This is inner authority. It is not force, it is coherence. When your inner world aligns, the outer world listens. Most people mistake authority for control, but control is fear wearing armor. Authority is trust without noise. It is choosing without rehearsing explanations, speaking without over-explaining, acting without apology. This is why some people seem effortlessly respected. They are not asking to be believed. What decision feels true but remains unspoken? The cost of silence is always higher than the risk of clarity. Buddhism teaches that suffering grows when we betray our own knowing. Relief arrives when action matches truth, even if the voice trembles at first. Here is the practice. Before acting, pause. Ask, is this aligned or is this approval-seeking? Then move from alignment. Do not rush. Do not justify. Let calm be your signature. Authority strengthens through repetition, each honest choice training the mind to trust itself again. How would you move if you trusted yourself completely? Not aggressively, not anxiously, simply forward. Remember, life does not follow the loudest voice, it follows the clearest one. When authority begins inside, the world stops questioning your place in it. You are pushing time and time is pushing back. The harder you try to control when things should happen, the heavier everything feels. This is not failure, it is friction. Life does not unfold mechanically, it moves rhythmically, and rhythm cannot be bullied. Forcing timing comes from fear. Fear that if you do not rush, you will be left behind. Fear that stillness means stagnation. But Buddhism teaches a quieter truth. What ripens too early spoils. Not everything delayed is denied. Some things are protected by waiting. Look at fruit on a tree. It sweetens under the sun, not by being shaken from the branch. You can pull it early, but it will never taste the same. In the same way, when you force outcomes, relationships, success, healing, you may get results, but they lack depth. They cannot sustain you. Ask yourself honestly, what am I rushing out of fear? A decision, a breakthrough, an answer. Rushing is often the mind's attempt to escape uncertainty. But uncertainty is not an enemy, it is the space where wisdom matures. Sit with this image. Picture your desire still on the branch, slowly changing color. The sun touches it daily, the roots feed it quietly. Nothing is wrong, nothing is late. Feel how patience removes pressure from your chest. This is not passive waiting, this is active trust. Trust does not mean doing nothing. It means doing what is yours without trying to steal what belongs to time. Show up consistently. Act with care. Then release the clock from your grip. Control tightens the mind. Trust softens it. And a softened mind sees opportunities that force never notices. Can you allow life to meet you halfway? When you stop dragging the future toward you, the present becomes lighter. People sense your ease. Decisions feel clearer. The right moment begins to recognize you because you are no longer chasing it. Patience teaches a hidden lesson. Who you are becoming matters more than what you are getting. Timing shapes character. It deepens stability. It filters out what cannot last. When something finally arrives in its own season, it feels natural, not exhausting. Remember this, life is not late, it is precise. Release the urge to command time. Walk in step with it. When trust replaces control, everything arrives with less struggle and far more meaning. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type manifest starts now. 5. Emotion is the real magnet. You are thinking constantly, yet your life is responding to something deeper. Thoughts are signals, but emotions are commands. You may say you want peace, abundance, love, but what you feel daily is what life listens to. Buddhism points gently to this truth. The body believes before the mind understands. Notice how outcomes follow emotional patterns. Anxiety invites obstacles. Gratitude invites ease. Resentment attracts resistance. This is not punishment, it is resonance. Life mirrors your inner climate, not your affirmations, and no amount of positive thinking can override an emotional state you rehearse every day. Emotion is the tuning fork that sets reality vibrating. Strike it with fear, and the world echoes tension. Strike it with calm, and situations soften. This is why two people can face the same circumstance and experience entirely different lives. Their emotions are tuning different frequencies. Ask yourself quietly, what emotion dominates my inner world? Not occasionally, but habitually. Is it pressure, lack, restlessness, or is it steadiness, trust, appreciation? Whatever you practice emotionally becomes your default instruction to life. Many people wait to feel good after success arrives, but this reverses the order. Buddhism teaches feeling before form. First the inner shift, then the outer change. This is not pretending. It is training the nervous system to recognize safety, fullness, and calm now, instead of postponing them. Sit for a moment. Place attention on your chest. Gently feel the calm you seek, as if it already lives there. Do not force it. Let it be subtle, a soft gratitude, a quiet freedom. The body responds to what is practiced, not what is demanded. This is how emotional authority is built, through repetition, not intensity. Here is the strategy. Begin each day by choosing one feeling to embody before action begins. Calm while working, gratitude while waiting, confidence while speaking, not exaggerated, grounded. Over time, this emotional consistency becomes magnetic. People respond differently. Opportunities arrive with less friction. Does the emotion you carry invite or repel what you want? Pressure repels. Desperation confuses. Calm attracts clarity. When you regulate your inner state, you stop broadcasting need, and life stops withholding. This is where manifestation becomes ethical, not manipulative. You are not trying to control outcomes. You are aligning with them emotionally. When inner resistance dissolves, outer resistance fades naturally. Ask yourself now, what feeling am I ready to practice today? Not someday. Now. Because life is not waiting for your plans, it is responding to your state. And when emotion aligns, reality follows without being chased. 6. Practice the feeling, not the fantasy. You are imagining a future, but your body is still living in the past. This is why visualization often disappoints. Images alone do not change reality. Reality follows rehearsal, and what you rehearse daily is not thought, but state. Many people picture success, peace, freedom, yet their breath remains shallow, their shoulders tight, their movements rushed. The body does not believe the image. It believes the posture, the rhythm, the tone of breath. Without embodiment, fantasy stays hollow. A dancer does not become graceful by imagining movement. Grace arrives through daily motion, small, repeated, imperfect. In the same way, manifestation matures when the body practices what the mind desires. When the nervous system learns safety, reality rearranges to match it. Ask yourself quietly, am I imagining or embodying? Imagination asks, what will I get? Embodiment asks, who am I becoming now? One is passive, the other is transformative. Pause. Let your breath slow. As you inhale, invite the feeling of fulfillment. Not excitement, not intensity, just steadiness. Let it spread gently through the chest, the spine, the hands. Do not force it. Let honesty guide the sensation. This is rehearsal. Fulfillment has a texture. Maybe it feels spacious, maybe grounded, maybe warm and unhurried. Name it. Feel it. The body learns through sensation, not instruction. And once learned, it begins to move differently, speak differently, choose differently. Here is the practice. Choose one small action today that matches this feeling. If fulfillment feels calm, slow your speech. If it feels confident, hold eye contact. If it feels free, release one unnecessary obligation. These are not symbolic acts, they are alignment signals. This is where manifestation shifts from hoping to inhabiting. You stop waiting for life to change so you can feel different. You feel different so life can respond. This reversal is subtle, but it is the turning point most never reach. Second wind arrives here. The fantasy falls away and truth steps in. You realize you were never meant to escape your current life, but to embody a new way of being within it. When the body leads, the future follows. Ask yourself now, how does fulfillment feel in my body? And what is one small movement today that proves I am no longer waiting? Because when feeling becomes practice, manifestation becomes inevitable. 7. Let go to let life in. You are holding on and wondering why nothing new enters. The grip feels like protection, but it is actually a barrier. Letting go is not loss, it is clearance. Life cannot enter a space already occupied by fear, control, or old stories. Resistance always feels justified. You tell yourself you are being careful, prepared, responsible, but notice the tension it creates in your body. Tight hands, shallow breath, a mind always guarding. This is not safety, it is exhaustion, and exhaustion blocks the very door you want to open. Empty space invites presence. This is not a metaphor meant to comfort. It is a law of experience. A cup must be emptied before it can be filled. When you cling to what was, you have no room for what is trying to arrive. Ask yourself quietly, what am I holding too tightly? A relationship that no longer nourishes, an identity built on struggle, a version of success that no longer fits who you are becoming. Attachment convinces you that release equals collapse. In truth, release creates stability. Pause for a moment. Imagine unclenching your hands. Feel warmth returning to your palms as blood flows freely again. This is what letting go feels like. Circulation, not emptiness. Space, not erasure. The body understands this instinctively even when the mind resists. Who are you without this attachment? The fear often answers first, but stay. Beneath fear is relief. Beneath relief is clarity. And beneath clarity is a quieter self, one that does not need to grip to exist. Here is the practice. Notice one place today where you are overholding. Loosen slightly. Do not abandon. Soften. Speak with less defense. Act with less urgency. Release the demand that things remain exactly as you planned. This gentle opening is enough to invite change. Second wind arrives when you realize that letting go does not weaken you, it strengthens your trust. Life responds differently to an open posture. Opportunities sense space, people sense ease, answers come without being forced. What might arrive if you soften, not chaos, alignment, not loss, fit. When you stop clutching the door, it opens on its own. Remember this, life does not reward holding on. It responds to openness. Clear the space. Let life in. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not sure what to say, just type. Manifestation begins now. 8. Detachment is true confidence. You may think detachment means not caring, but look closer. Detachment is not indifference. It is deep confidence. It is the quiet trust that you will remain whole, whether life goes your way or not, and that trust changes everything. Most people cling because they fear falling apart. They believe results give them identity, safety, and worth. So they hold tightly to relationships, success, and approval. But this tight grip reveals doubt. Buddhism teaches a powerful shift. When you stop needing, you become strong. I am complete, whether it happens or not. This is not giving up. It is freedom. When this truth is lived, desperation fades away. And without desperation, the mind becomes calm, clear, and naturally aligned with life. Not because it is passive, but because it shows life you are ready to receive, not struggle. Still water reflects the sky clearly. Shaken water reflects nothing. In the same way, a relaxed mind sees opportunities, right timing, and direction without forcing them. When you stop disturbing the surface, clarity appears. Pause for a moment. Let your breath slow, not to gain anything, just to allow. As your breathing softens, thoughts begin to loosen. Silence is not empty. It is aware and alive. This is where alignment exists. Urgency often pretends to be motivation, but it actually breaks your focus. It rushes wisdom and drains your nervous system. Ask yourself honestly, who am I without urgency? Beneath the rush is a calmer self, one that moves with clarity instead of panic. Relaxing does not mean avoiding life. It means facing life without tight expectations. You still take action, you still make choices, but now your actions come from wholeness, not fear. When action comes from wholeness, it feels clear and natural. A new energy appears. You realize you were never behind. You were only tense, and tension twists your sense of timing. When the body relaxes, intuition sharpens. When the mind softens, answers rise on their own. What happens when you truly relax? Notice how your chest opens, how decisions feel lighter, how effort decreases while results improve. This is aligned surrender, where less resistance creates more flow. Gently ask yourself, what is life offering me right now? Often it is already here, waiting for you to stop resisting it. Peace comes first, not last. Remember this and let it settle. You do not need to push the river, it already knows its path. Soften your grip. Life has been listening all along. Bonus principle, love yourself where you are. You are trying to become worthy, and that struggle itself is the wound. Manifestation breaks down when self-rejection is in control, because whatever you resist within, you recreate outside. One of the deepest Buddhist truths is simple and quiet. Nothing is missing. Most striving comes from a hidden belief. I will be whole when I arrive, when I succeed, when I heal, when I am chosen. But chasing worth only delays it. Life does not reward self-criticism with fulfillment. It mirrors the relationship you have with yourself. The sun does not become brighter by shining somewhere else. It stays where it is and shines because that is its nature. In the same way, your value is not conditional. You do not earn it by suffering long enough. You express your worth by ending the inner struggle. Notice how hard you are on yourself in quiet moments, the constant self-fixing, the small sense of disappointment. This inner rejection spreads your energy thin. Buddhism teaches that wholeness comes before arrival, not after. When the mind stops fighting itself, life stops reflecting conflict. Pause here. Place a hand on your heart. Feel a gentle warmth spread, not intensely, just honestly. This is not self-indulgence. It is awareness. Acceptance does not mean everything is perfect. It means nothing is pushed away from love, and that changes how you move through life. Gently ask yourself, can I fully accept this moment, even with its flaws, delays, and uncertainty? Love does not stop growth. It creates the safety that growth needs. Nothing healthy grows in harsh judgment. What if you are already enough, not as an idea, but as a lived truth? When this understanding settles in, urgency softens and comparison fades. You stop creating from lack and begin acting from wholeness, and wholeness naturally attracts. Here is a simple practice. Speak to yourself today the way you would speak to someone you deeply care about. Not with pressure, but with permission. Permission to rest, to learn slowly, and to be human without blame. This gently shifts your nervous system from survival into openness. A new energy appears when you realize that manifestation was never about becoming someone else. It was about removing the conditions you placed on your own worth. Life responds quickly to self-acceptance because resistance has ended. Ask yourself, how would life respond if you truly believed you were already enough? You would choose more wisely, wait with less anxiety, act with greater clarity, and receive without guilt. Hold this truth and let it settle. When self-rejection ends, manifestation completes itself. You do not attract what you want, you allow what already belongs to you. Here is a short summary of the principles. Want less, receive more. Desire creates tension, and tension blocks flow. The less you cling, the more space you open. Manifestation begins when neediness ends. Freedom attracts what force never can. Stillness is the fastest movement. Nothing manifests outside the present moment. The now is where power quietly works. Restlessness slows things down, while presence speeds them up. What you seek responds to calm awareness. Authority starts within. Outer results reflect inner certainty. Self-trust removes the need for approval. When you stop asking for permission, life responds. Inner authority reshapes outer reality. Timing follows trust, not control. Forcing timing creates resistance. Trust allows life to unfold naturally. Patience is alignment, not doing nothing. What is meant for you arrives when you are ready. Emotion is the real magnet. Reality follows emotional states, not just thoughts. Calm attracts clarity. Fear attracts delay. Your dominant feeling sets the direction. When you master emotion, manifestation follows. Practice the feeling, not the fantasy. Imagination without action stays empty. What you feel again and again becomes familiar. The body teaches the mind what is real. Practice feeling fulfilled before expecting results. Let go so life can move toward you. Holding on too tightly blocks natural flow, while release removes resistance right away. Receiving begins where control ends. Letting go brings your inner balance back. Detachment is deep confidence. It means emotional independence. Outcomes no longer control your peace. Confidence grows when your identity is no longer tied to results. Freedom strengthens manifestation. Chasing proof slows everything down. Demanding signs shows doubt. Trust moves faster than evidence. Certainty calms the waiting mind. Faith shortens the gap between cause and result. Relax. Life is already listening. Tension interrupts natural flow. Relaxation brings the mind, body, and life into alignment. Ease is a sign that you are ready. What arrives effortlessly tends to last longer. Love yourself where you are. Wholeness comes before achievement. Self-acceptance ends inner conflict. Peace invites progress without struggle. Life responds when resistance toward yourself ends. When you stop trying to force life to follow your will, life begins to move toward your presence. Manifestation is not about effort. It is about alignment. A calm mind sends a clearer signal than a restless one. When desire softens into trust and control, fades into awareness, life responds with quiet precision. You, just like anyone else in the universe, deserve your own love and acceptance. Zen wisdom reminds us that nothing comes too late and nothing is missing. The moment you relax into who you are, you come into harmony with the way life naturally unfolds. Carry this question with you today. What changes when I trust life instead of trying to control it? If this message resonated with you, take a moment to like and share this video. Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to Buddhism Insight for more inspiring Buddhist insights on living a peaceful and balanced life.